morning, ladies and gentlemen, back again. Probably took a little bit longer than I wanted to get to this one, but I'm finally happy to introduce to you Lotus. Now, this is a design I've had going for a while through the great Gurkha Khukuri Shop. I wasn't going to do an unboxing on this one. Well, I was, but I lost the footage, so we're just going to skip that part and get straight to the initial testing. So now the cool thing about this is Perna has done an ambidextrous scabbard for me with this one. He's attached a checkma concata here, but if you take those out, the frog slips off. You can turn it around and put it back on the other way, so for left or right-handed. So for left-handed, obviously you would have this reversed, and that would put these hidden behind the scabbard, which is a cool look. It's very clean, but if I was to wear it behind my back, which I currently do at the moment as it's summertime, then it actually leaves these accessible, so it works for me both ways in this case, which is really cool. We've got a nice thick leather frog, which is really cool. All of the leather actually used in its construction is of a really high quality and really good fit and finish as well. You'll see the raised bump here that stops the frog from slipping off is actually on both sides for ambidexterity, which is what I'm all about. Soon you'll see some designs coming out where instead of having those, there'll be like a hump in the scabbard itself coming out this way and going up and across. It's just a cleaner way of doing it, in my opinion. It's not traditional, it's just my thing. All right, cool. So with that being said, let's get into some quick measurements and I'll pull the blade out so we can have a look. All right, so before we do that, actually, is we'll do a quick retention test. So it's stuck in there, you know, it's not just gonna fall out. However, with a quick push with the thumb, it comes straight out. All right, so we'll place that here, so you can look at that if you like. Now, this is it. This is the main blade, this is Lotus, and we'll do some quick measurements in a second. Perna does this awesome brass inlay. I don't know if you can see that, if the sun's catching it or not. And I really think that's really cool, considering it's done inside a fuller as well. I've been told by other companies that it can't be done. There's evidence that it can be done, so awesome. Multi-material handle, so we've got your white metal and then your copper, wood and horn, just to add a little bit of class. And Perna's done a pretty good job of my keeper plate as well. He's done that out of copper in this case. Alright, so measurements. Blade is 30 centimeters long, 300 mils, 12 inches is pretty standard. That's a good size for an sort of multi-use, do everything knife. The handle is 5.5 inches or 13 centimeters or 130 millimeters, depending on what measurement you want. And then we'll go blade width is 55 millimeters at the widest point, and spine is 8 millimeters that tapers all the way down its entire length to 3 millimeters before the tip, which is pretty much exactly what I asked for. So Perna's absolutely nailed it. All right, it's come absolutely stupid sharp, and we'll be testing that sharpness very shortly. And it's also got my finger choil up here, so you can choke up and use it with a little bit more control than you normally would. So that's handy as well. All right, before we get into the testing, I'll show you these as well. Now, there's your carder. When I first pulled it out, I thought, oh, this is one of those fiddly carder. I mean, it's incredibly well executed, but I thought, oh, it's one of these fiddly little carder that I don't really like. But you'll see very soon, I'll roll some footage in when I was doing a quick initial test of the carder. It's like a little scalpel. This thing is awesome, and I'm really impressed with it. And it proved me wrong about my opinion of these little blades. I would still prefer a larger one, but Perna told me, he said traditionally the carder actually scales with the main blade. So if the main blade is big enough, especially since I've got this here, to do, you know, smaller tasks, even though it's still a large blade, then why would you need a 6-inch blade? It's a pretty fair point. So these scale, and even as it is, little scalpel, this thing is very impressive for its size, and I'm incredibly pleased with it considering I don't normally like them. And the chakmak I'm also really impressed with. It's a traditional chakmak, traditional shape. I'm not sure what these 2 notches here are for, so hopefully Perna will be able to, you know, enlighten me with that. But not only is it very hard and sharpens both these edges very well, it does strike sparks. I've tested that, and I'll take some footage of it shortly and I'll roll that in as well. Alright, so with that being done, let's go into initial paper test. Just got standard printer paper. I'm not even trying, it's catching the paper and it's just taking it straight off. There's no real toothiness to the edge or anything, it's just a bit of edge alignment on my part that's causing it to tear. But as soon as I get a cut going, this thing it's stupid sharp, which is to be expected. Perna is well known for having incredibly sharp blades. So let's see how this incredibly sharp edge holds up on some Australian hardwood. I'll be right back. Alright, so as per usual, we've got small leading all the way up to probably about something the size of my wrist. We probably could go thicker, but I wasn't able to get thicker stuff, so we might pull something from my wood pile that we've done before and use that. And we've also got a stump here as well that we can use if we need to, but I'm going to do standard cuts with the wood standing up. This is how I usually wear my kukri in the summer. This is why I like ambidexterity in my scabbard, so I can wear it like that. And then during winter time, I can put it up in my baldric carry and wear it over all of my other clothing. So one-handed draw comes out very easily. We'll start with our small stuff on the stump, and then we'll go up to our bigger stuff standing up. So let's see how we go. Yeah, pretty easy. And that was on a stump. If I was to stand it up, we'll see how easy that goes. Straight through. So that's what you're after, that's what you want. That's what I mean. It's, didn't mention before, the weight, 620 grams. So it is a little heavier than some of the others that I have, but not by much. That'll be because of that thicker spine, so I can split, which we'll be doing shortly. Alright, so that's the small stuff. We'll go to medium. Now that cut deep, but it bounced out. Edge is good, 3 cuts through the medium. Let's try on the stump. About 11 cuts. Bit of force behind it, but sometimes the stump actually makes it harder to cut through something. So that's medium. We'll go up to the big one, like this bit. We're going to use one of those medium ones for a baton in a minute to split this down. So I want to cut this a little bit lower because I want to split this whole thing if I can. Alright, again, it's old seasoned hardwood, so it is tough stuff. Alright. Five cuts through that. That is impressive. Pretty clean too. Alright. Let's see if we can split this massive bit here down the centre. Let's see how we go with that. I told Perner what my requirements are, and so far he's done really well. So straight into splitting. Finish it off on the log, I reckon. Oh. See if we can get a couple strikes. Because I want to go through that knot. Because I've had kukri before fail on knots like this, so I want to take it through that. Come on. Edge is straight, spine is straight, still sharp. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I want, that's what I'm after. I'm pretty happy with that. I split through that, including that bit at the end there. That's awesome. Alright, we'll do a little bit more chopping and then we'll test this edge again. Cool, it's working. Now see how this goes for kitchen work as well, because I did put my blade fuller through it. I did that for a reason. I did that on purpose because, again, I want to choke up and be able to do fine cutting with it. Alright, well, I'm pretty happy with that so far. So now that that's been done, I'm going to pull out the carder. We're going to test that as well on a bit of carving. Show you how stupidly sharp this thing is. Where's a straight bit of wood? Right, this is straight grained. Now this is an absolute pleasure to work with. This thing is just crazy, 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 crazy sharp. Like, I mean, this thing is insane. And it's going through the wood effortlessly, or through the bark. I'm not into the actual wood yet, but I don't think that's going to make any difference anyway, because it just slides through so easy. There we are, we're in the actual wood now. I can tell it's just trying to jump off the stick because I'm not very good at feathers, but hey, I mean, it's so easy. And I'll get the spine of it and see if I can get my fuzz. It's not doing much fuzz on this stick in particular. There we go. There you go, see that? Tinder fuzz. It's good stuff. You don't have to use the knife for that, you can use the chakmak for that if it's got a sharp, it's got a nice sharp spine on it. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see how that goes with a bit of tender fuzz. There you go, it's doing it too. Cool. I'm very happy with this so far. Awesome job, Perna. Absolutely awesome job. And your team at Great Gurkha Khukuri Shop. This is fantastic. Now that we've done all this chopping and stuff, I'll see how the edges held up. It's still feeling pretty sharp, so let's see how we go. Same bit of paper that we had before, we'll see how we go with it. It's not turning during a cut, but I mean, I don't expect it to do that anyway because it's such a thick spine on it. Running out of paper, so it's hard to get the right angle. There you go. Lotus by the Great Gurkha Khukuri Shop. Fantastic bit of kit. Very impressed with it. I'm very happy with it. Alright, so from here we might do a bottle chop and I'll show you the sparking with a flint from the spine of the chakmak, and that'll conclude my review. I can't wait to get this out in the bush. I really can't. It's a good compact size, but it's still got enough weight to it that it'll still, well, it'll still split. So very happy with that. Thank you again, Perna and your team, and very impressed with this bit of kit. Thank you very much. Not the most consistent test because I didn't have any normal water bottles. Same edge is exactly what I was using. I haven't touched it up or anything. Let's see how we go with a bottle cup. Easy. Easy, easy, easy. Alright, what I was talking about before, striking a spark off the spine to give you a demonstration actually of the knife I normally use to start my fires with. This works really well with like flash tinders and stuff like that. As you get your, this is Scandinavian flint. You can also use quartz, and that's what I mean by striking a spark from the spine. So that's a really good steel that does it really well. However, I want to show you that this should be able to do the same thing, but it's more difficult because of the steel type. But it should still be able to do it, so we'll see if we can get a spark or two off it. So, there you go. And that's how you do it. All chakmaks should be able to do that. Traditionally, that's one of the things they're used for. So again, Perna has nailed it. A lot of manufacturers can't do that. They can't make it spark like that. Now, for those of you that go, oh, well, I take a lighter out bush, I don't need something that can strike a spark like that. That's fair. I get it. But for people like me that like redundancies and like practicing the old skills, it's pretty important. So thank you very much, Perna, for that. That concludes my, my initial testing and my initial review of your work. I love it. I absolutely love it. The edge isn't as hard as some of my other kukri, but I know why. Because you like your kukri to be able to be sharpened in the field easily by multiple means, instead of just a diamond stone or ceramic rods or something that you take with you. You can sharpen it with natural elements like river stones and stuff. That's why a slightly softer edge is okay. But as you saw, after chopping through the hardwood, I could still shave paper with it. And let's see if we can still shave hair with it. Might even have to trade hands here. Oh, there you go. So it still shaves hair. There you go. Can you see that? Can you see that? It still shaves. That's very impressive. That's very impressive work. And that concludes everything. Thank you very much. Super happy. And this should be up in his shop soon. You know, this is a design that I did for Perna. And he should be releasing it soon. So thank you very much. Have a good day, everyone. Alright, something I'd like to quickly show you before I go is when you're wearing a kukri like this, a lot of people go, how do you put it away? Well, you go like that. Once you feel that tip located inside the scabbard, straight in. So, out, in. That's how you do it.